you're going to see Russ, um, probably play some minutes with the starters and stuff like that. But I do think that there are going to be times where he does come off the bench, not starting wise, but just being a guy that
Yeah.
runs primarily with the bench unit. Because he would benefit the most. If you could put a couple shooters around him and also a couple of just young athletic style players, I think you can really benefit from Russ, and you can kind of let Russ be Russ more.
Yeah.
Because the big problem is like when he's running with LeBron and AD, he can't really be Russ. Like he has to play within the system, within the scope, things like that. But when he's running with the bench units and he doesn't have LeBron and stuff, then he's able to he could be free, and you can kind of like the things that are bad. You can kind of that people always complain about, like turning the ball over, just
Yeah.
him kind of playing reckless at times, stuff like that. You can get away with that more when he's running with the bench unit because it's the bench unit. Like it's not, you don't need it to
Well,
be a
there's more
sort of
room for mistakes,
yeah, exactly. You
Like
don't need it to
AD
be a
is not
sort
going
of
to be turning the ball over,
yeah,
not as much. LeBron's not going to be turning the ball over, so it's like, you know,
yeah. And I do. I just think I think that yeah, like you can benefit more from Russ, and like good luck to any bench unit in the league. Like imagine being a backup point guard and you have to guard Russell Westbrook now. Usually
yeah,
usually that's not what happens. Or if you do, it's for like small doses. It's not for like a good chunk of the game where you're like
yeah,
trying to guard Russ and just bench lineups in general. You know,
yeah.
um, but yeah, what so what let's say Russ does end up moving to the bench full time, right?
Mhm.
Who would be your starters? Who would be your starters in that case?
Mm. Ooh, that's a hard one. I would go if Russ goes to the bench, I'm gonna go Patrick Bev at the one, none at the two, LeBron at the three. No, sorry, Walker at the three, LeBron at the four, then AD at the five.
Okay, not terrible, not terrible. I think it depends on what lineups you want. So
Yeah,
like I actually think like so if Russ was to go to the bench, I think like a starting five of like none. I think the best starting five would be like as far as like versatility, matchups, shooting, a little bit of everything would be like Kendrick Nunn, Walker, LeBron, AD, and Bryant.
okay,
I think you got size there with AD and Bryant. You get AD and Bryant could both shoot the three ball.
yeah,
You also have Kendrick Nunn that can shoot the three ball. He's our best 3-point shooter. You have LeBron James who can now shoot the three ball. Also, because of the bigs able to stretch out, LeBron and Nunn and even Walker can get to the paint. You get that big, long, lengthy uh, Walker that can guard multiple positions, stuff like that. So I think he'd be very good defensively. I think he'd be good offensively. I wouldn't mind if they did Patrick Beverly. Um, just for like that spot up shooter and
yeah,
just defensive guy, because then you'd have a pretty good. Like I think if you, it depends on what you want. I think if you want to go sole defense,
yeah.
I think you go Damian Jones, Anthony Davis, LeBron, Walker, and Beverly,
Okay,
because I think that gives you two great defensive guards, and then that gives you two defensive shot blocking bigs, and then you got
yeah,
LeBron James kind of orchestrating everything. Um, and then I think if you want to go small, then that's when you'd go like LeBron, or sorry, AD, LeBron at the 5 and 4,
yeah,
Walker at the 3, maybe Reeves at the 2, and maybe Nunn at the 1.
yeah,
Um, and then you kind of, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter between Reeves and Nunn who you start or whatever. But I think you go that. So then you have good size, you have good shooting, you got floor spacing. You got the dominant factor that is LeBron James or Anthony Davis at the 5.
Yeah.
Like I think that lineup could work against like the Warriors or the Clippers. You got
Okay.
your biggest, longest wing defender, a guy that can create his own shot and get to the basket. You get LeBron guarding fours. You get Davis at the five, who is a mismatch, and then you get uh, either Nunn or Beverly at the one.
Yeah.
Um, for the shooting and just defense, and then Reeves just plays so well with the starters. I think you go that like that's what I would say. Like I know a lot of people don't really want Reeves to start, but I don't think you'll get a better Reeves than when he's with the
Yeah.
starters. I just think he plays so well with the starters, and everybody else on this team is going to probably play the same regardless. Probably
Yeah.
all going to be like none could get you 20 whether he starts or comes off the bench. Patrick Beverly is going to give you the same production whether he starts or comes off the bench. Walker, same thing. Like all of the other guys are going to give you the same production regardless. But Austin Reeves, I don't know if he's ready yet to be, because if you're bringing Reeves and the bench guy, you're having him as like a ball handler and just like that point, not point guard, but like you're probably playing him in like a point forward position more likely, just
Yeah.
because we have so many guards, and I don't think you can maximize him as much as you could otherwise.
And I don't think he gets better. Like if you bring him off the bench, I don't think he gets better. I don't think he improves. I think he improves a little bit, just because he's definitely gonna get more play time because of what he did last year. I know Darvin Ham is probably gonna play him, even though Darvin Ham wasn't coaching us last year. I know he's gonna play Reeves more than Reeves played last year. If he's been doing his homework and saw what little like numbers Reeves put up with, but if you just saw the productivity from Reeves last year. So yeah, I think you're right on starting him, or if you're not going to start him, at least let him play with the starter guys on a different like later on the game in a different rotation. Talk to me about Schroeder though. Talk to me about Schroeder, and so do you just prefer Schroeder and like Beverly not to run the offense as a first choice or no?
No, I don't mind that. Well, one, Schroeder, who knows? There were reports that came out that they're worried Schroeder might be out long term. That I guess apparently he's got a finger injury.
Oh,
Um, and they think he might be out for a while. If that is the
okay,
case, then that does hurt. But even if he is healthy and he is ready to go, I like Schroeder, and Schroeder, AD, and LeBron, they have history together. Not only do they have history together, but last time they played together, the three of them together were a plus 15. So that's a positive too, as well, stuff like that. But I don't I don't like the idea. I don't mind you playing those three in spots.
yeah,
I just think the big issue last time was when you tried to have Schroeder run the show. There was the same problem in many ways that you had with Russ, is
yeah,
that LeBron's your best point guard. LeBron is the guy that you want to have the ball in your hands. But when you have a guy like Schroeder who is best with the ball in his hands, running and operating that point guard, it's kind of redundant. Like that's the problem with Russ. And
yeah,
so like guys like Kendrick Nunn, Patrick Beverly, guys like that, yes, they can initiate the offense. So if LeBron wants to play off the ball in moments and doesn't want to be the main primary ball handler, you can
yeah,
have Nunn orchestrate and run the offense. You can have Patrick Beverly orchestrate and run the offense. And then, if it's significant time or you're trying to close out a game or whatever, kind of let LeBron run point and you're fine because you have Beverly and like Nunn and guys like that can shoot off the ball.
yeah,
Kendrick Nunn, 38%. Patrick Beverly has shot 38% before. So like you basically always have one of those guys that can shoot and play. They're essentially perfect complements off LeBron for point guards.
yeah,
And so with that, I think that they would be the best fit. And then you have, Schroeder sort of coming off the bench and being that, backup point guard guy in spots. Or, the only concern is you can't really play Schroeder and Russ together.
yeah,
So if, it might come down to it to where you might have to start Schroeder just to get him his play time.
You said Schroeder and Russ together?
Yeah, you can't play Schroeder and Russ
You
together.
don't think those two work together?
Nah, they tried to do that at OKC and it was terrible. Because neither of them can shoot, and both of them are very similar. Like they're more of like slash and get to the basket type point guards. Like if Schroeder could shoot like 36%, 37% from three, then yeah, maybe you can make it work.
Yeah.
Problem is, here we go, game time, baby. Problem is that he does it. He shoots like 34%, which is like around league average, but that's not good enough to have, LeBron, or sorry, have basically two guys that are the same player in many ways. Just Russ is just the better upgraded version. Um, so yeah, I don't think you could. I don't think that would work very well.